Hey, it's Dr. Dawn, and guess what? It's time for Mystical Monday. Yay! I am your host. We got a good show in store for you guys tonight. I have a wonderful guest. I know you guys are going to enjoy him, but you guys know how we do it. Before we can get started, we got to count it down and allow everyone time to come into the chat. So let's count it down, and I'll see you in a second. Hello. It's Dr. Dawn. Hi, everybody. Hey. It's Mystical Monday. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hey, we're back, and it's Mystical Monday. Look at you guys coming in the chat. Come on in, y'all. Come on in, come on. We want all the people tonight because I want y'all to be ready. I want you to be like full of like participation and anticipation because tonight's guest, even though we haven't had him on here before, we've had his wife. I wonder if y'all know who his wife is. Y'all probably do. Y'all do. I had her on my shadow work session just last week, and then I had her on Mystical Monday last year. She's a light code activator. You know her as what? I feel you, I am you, but she ain't on here tonight. Well, she is. I see her over there in the chat. But we got her other half on here tonight, y'all. Baby, when I tell you soulmates are real, you're going to see tonight they are divinely aligned and connected. Her husband is joining us tonight, and he goes by the name or the title or the reference, All Is One. How about that? They don't have names in their house, y'all. They have references. How about that? So tonight you're gonna see why he goes by All Is One. You guys saw me promoting this, and I said philosophical and spiritual. That's who he is. That's who and what he is, and he exudes that in his energy. He ain't even got to open his mouth, y'all. You can just look at him, and that's what you feel that energy is. Oh, I bet he got something deep to say because he does. I'm going to bring him on. But before I bring him on, I want to cover something with you guys before I forget in the end. I want you guys to know I'm currently booked until September now. But what I did was I had 2 days come available in July that I opened up my schedule, and that is July 8th and July 10th and July 25th. So if anyone wants to book a one-on-one spiritual coaching session, those 2 days are available on my schedule, July 10th and July 25th. If not, you got to wait till September, y'all. Sorry, I'm doing some stuff this summer. I'm outside, as the kids say. I'm be outside. So I just want to let you guys know that. Maybe I'll remember to say it again at the end. But just so you guys know, you can go to the website and book spiritual coaching sessions for those 2 days. So let me bring him on. Ha ha ha. And there he is. Let's test your mic.
Hello.
Mic check. Hello. Let's see. We might need to bring him closer. Yeah, that's better, y'all. Y'all can see him real good then. I love it. Look at his little face. He looks so sweet and innocent. I love it. So before we get going, you guys know how this works. I'm going to be talking to him, but if you guys have comments or questions while we're talking, make sure you put them in the chat. You know, I always go over there and address you guys because that's what this is all about, making sure you guys are heard as well as the guests that are on here. So make sure you guys you talk and chat it up tonight because we gonna show him how we do it over here on Mystical Monday. So we have All Is One, and we love that name. We love it. I would ask you I never asked you how you came about that particular title for yourself. Is it a story behind it?
Kind of, sort of. It's more so of like I believe I saw it one time It was on like at a skate shop one time when I was really little, and it was about like, you know, unity. And so I saw all is one, and then it said not only all is one, but one is all. Basically, they're just saying that one person is everybody, and that, you know, everybody is one person also. So I thought that that was just, you know, it just really really resonated with me. It just really did, without anybody programming it down my throat or anything like that. It just, I read it and I was just like, wow, that really, I mean, I got chills and everything. Um, I've always been about unity, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because look, the first thing I said when I actually talked to interact with you, I said you got to be an earth sign because you give off earth element. You give off like
Taurus.
connected to the earth.
Yep,
And you,
Taurus.
yeah, see, he a Taurus, y'all. See, I know you could tell, just like y'all know I'm a fire sign. He the earth. See, don't we complement each other real well? The
Okay.
fire and the earth. We
Oh
love
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. Comments. Well, I mean, comments is ice, but yeah.
Okay, so listen, let's get into this. I loved listening to you. The little bit that I did hear you speak when you were on social media with your wife, and we know her, y'all. We all know his wife, and so tell me a little bit about how, because you were talking a little bit about the term chosen ones and kind of like what it means to you. And so, do you consider yourself a chosen one? And it kind of explain to us what that means to you.
I don't really like exalting myself like that. I kind of have a more of a wu wei approach to it, meaning like do without doing. And I try not to give in to arrogance about, you know, I am the chosen one. More so just I'm just very glad that I can live happily within myself. You see what I'm saying? I
Mm,
don't need external, you know, as much external stimuli. I'm at a point now to where that and even her, we really are just at a point to where now we don't need much external stimuli. So yeah, just really try to live within myself rather than needing any sort of, you know,
look,
sound stuff.
somebody in the chat said, I'm going to let me put this on the screen so you know I ain't making it up. They say,
Sure.
look, his energy is so calm and complimentary to the supercharged energy of I feel you, I am you. Look, she you know, she be practically choking us through the screen, like yelling and getting into it. And then you just like, yeah, you know, and like,
It's
is
like
that what
the
is?
tree. It's just like a mighty tree in a windstorm. Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
imagine what y'all house is like. She running through there doing that, and you like, all right. Like you guys are literally yin and yang a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I mean, we're very complimentary of each other too. Very, very similar. Our life circumstances are like literally like very, very correspondent, like towards each other. We went through some of the same things. We're both really goofy. Like I could get goofy just like her. I do the same thing. Just I just don't have a social media like that. So you don't really see me doing it. You know what I mean? And I just kind of just live in the now rather than just trying to encapsulate all of my moments all the time. You know what I mean? Me and
Yeah,
her, we kind of just try to live in the now and not worry about sharing everything. Because a lot of times I find it's kind of like how Alan Watts says is that it's like another lens that you put on life. You know what I mean? Like you see a sunset and it's so nice and everything like that. And as soon as I take my phone out, you know what I mean, and I try to take a picture of it, one, it never looks as good as what my eyes see, and then two, it's just like, oh man, I don't know, it took away from the moment a little bit. Take it, takes a little bit of the vibe away from the moment sometimes. So yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we definitely compliment each other, man. It's fun time, like every day.
And I know in talking to you because you guys know, like before I put these people on the screen, I be vetting them, y'all. I got to talk to them first to make sure I'm bringing y'all what y'all need. And we talked. I talked a little bit to you about like authenticity. Like your wife is so authentic in everything that she does. And even though I haven't interacted with you as much as I have her, I could feel like yours. It's like he has a lot to say, and he hasn't said it yet, but I feel like this, you guys, is like his introduction to the world a little bit, because my goal now is to highlight and spotlight them ones that ain't in front of the camera, and the ones that's not speaking with them thousands and millions of followers, because now it's time for all of us to start coming to the forefront. Do you feel like it's your
Oh yeah,
time now to start speaking?
definitely. So I know a lot of people have told me that at work, whoever I have a conversation with, and they happen to bring up anything philosophical or existential or something, and they're down with the conversation, obviously you gotta feel their vibes. But yeah, like a lot of people have told me that, and and why I haven't really said it much yet. Well, one, it was more so I have this I always have this thing of I have this intellectual insecurity, which basically means I arrive at conclusions about things, but I'm always open to being proven wrong, always, because I don't like holding on to falsehood. So anytime that I arrive at any conclusion about life, or just this human experience and just like this existence, I'm always questioning it in my mind. Like there's always another voice that basically said, "Now, does that apply to everything, though?" And
Yeah.
seeing is it quite as black and white, as this as this new conclusion that you've arrived at, would is it really a one size fits all thing? So a lot of times I'm always questioning myself, and that's kind of a gift and a curse, because I'm kind of a perfectionist with some things, and with this speaking, and then the stutter too, you know what I mean? Like I've stuttered since I was like 4 years old. So I mean, I've always been shy with talking, but now I've kind of arrived at a better place with it. So
See,
um
and
sorry, please.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to say, I know your background with the stuttering, and the speech therapist in me is like, let me warm them up. Let them get warmed up first, because I know that is kind of like, this is the crucial, the important time for someone with a history of stuttering. Let them get warmed up and get into it.
Yeah. And then somebody told me that when you admit it first, and it's kind of true, that when you admit it, then it really eases the tension and everything out, So yeah, it definitely helps out. But yeah, definitely. I definitely think that excuse me, in response to a part of your question, I definitely think that it is a situation within the spiritual community, and I kind of noticed it when like my wife would really first start showing me a lot of spiritual videos and stuff like that, and they were very helpful. A lot of them were very helpful, but a lot of it was stuff that I kind of already studied, and then not to sound arrogant or anything like that, but I had books about like Taoism, Buddhism, um, uh, Hinduism, that kind of already put me up on game about a lot of that stuff. And so, but it was just new perspectives. But I noticed that there was a lot of gimmicks and a lot of cookie cutterness going on. And I said, now, and this was about maybe, I'll probably give it about like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And I was like, are they making this into a commerce thing? Are they, because this commerce has a funny way of watering down and, uh, bastardizing a lot of arts, a lot of things that were meant to be kept pure, and meant
Yeah.
to be a certain. And I started to notice that it was a lot of the same gimmicks. It seems that with the old algorithm, before spirituality was really became a trend. I feel like that the past algorithm of what everything was relevant a lot of people are taking a lot of the methods and mechanics from that, and then basically applying it into the spirituality as well, such as like certain gimmicks. Like, okay, I'll give you a good example. Spiritual women. If she is attractive, you will see some inkling, not all of them, but a good amount of them I've seen, they're doing the thirst traps and stuff like that, but they're basically cloaking it in the mantle of spirituality. And so I'm like, oh
Wait,
man,
wait,
like this
wait,
is
wait.
kind of
Stop.
elevating
Wait,
some of
wait,
these
wait, wait,
shoppers a
wait,
little bit.
wait, wait. I gotta get you to clarify that thirst trap. Wait, come on. Let's get deeper. Let's explain the thirst trap term that you use. Tell everybody what you
I
mean by
don't,
that.
I mean, honeypotting, whatever label you want to adopt with it. Like obviously, show her at the gym, she'll be squatting and it's right at that angle. And it's like, come
Okay.
on, dog, come on, dog. Yeah, I mean, wearing certain stuff. Dudes, I mean, sure, the dudes too. Same thing. It's a lot of hyper self-awareness, I would
Okay.
call it. A lot of
Okay.
hyper self-awareness. And without judging anybody, it's just something that I don't really resonate with, because I'm kind of like, I've always been the type of guy, I don't really like pictures and stuff. I'd rather like be like the tiger in the woods and everything, and you just spot them and you just take a picture like that. Rather than, looks more natural. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Tiger
yeah. I
doesn't
get
look
you.
good when the tiger don't really look as good when he's looking at the camera. You know what I mean? Watching you like this. It looks good when he's doing his thing. But I've noticed that with a lot of the spiritual community and stuff like you've been talking about. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I enjoyed, well, you didn't get into it very much, but you kind of hinted at let's kind of talk a little bit about your theory as it relates to why these kids now are a little more advanced than those souls that came before them. They're these beings are stepping into or showing or bringing something new to the planet.
um let me this is a lot, man, because I literally
Okay,
think
so
about
so we
this.
do we need to say
Like,
something before we get to that? Because it sounds like we got to lead up to that. When you got some more you want to say before we get to that.
I mean,
That's
like,
a
we can
heavy
get into it
loaded.
now if you like. I mean, I know that was one of the highlights and everything. My opinion is that these kids are 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 advanced in like response to a lot of the oppressive and rigid and like constricting realities that this that the system has like to put us in. um you know uh, all the ignorance, all the hatred, all the and it can't, and it seems to kind of keep snowballing. I think that these kids are basically born as a like response to that. And then what I mean is, I think that one, they're more advanced because back in the day, a lot of the people who are like us that are kind of up on game about a lot of stuff, um, those people had to go through astronomical things to learn the things that we know now. You had to make time to go to the library. You had to find the right book. You had to like attend these classes. You had to like go to these seminars. All these different things that would take so long to basically accumulate all of this knowledge that we have. See about our existence. And whereas now we just we have this phone, just boop boop there. And so we're and back in those days, the programming was a lot more rigid. It was a lot more rigid. People's like opinions and their like beliefs, they were a lot more firm and hard nosed. And people were indoctrinated into a bunch of different vehicles of spirituality, because we didn't know, you know times was tough back then. You know what I mean? Times was tough. And our ancestors and just anybody went through a lot of trauma. And so a lot of the times, the human experience is a spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's spirit having the human experience. And so a lot of times, especially with a certain demographic of people, when you take away their identity and you take away their culture and you take away their spirituality, then they're searching for that when they're so traumatized. And so
Right.
there's this big hole left in, their spirit. And it like seeks to be filled. Well, you're in a place where, you can't worship certain things. And so you have to indoctrinate your entire being into this new system of belief. And so a lot of that gets cascaded down into the further generations. And like I said, back then, they didn't really know about none of this spirit, new age spirituality stuff. It was all just church. I mean, that was your spirituality. That was most people's like spirituality.
Right.
For the most part. And or like a lot of us. And it's a situation to where that because of that, then they were indoctrinated into that system of belief for a long time, and in that, a hard set of ethics cascaded down to us. But we have other outlets, whereas like they did not, and so we're able to kind of branch out and see what all the food companies are doing, like what the agriculture like a company is doing, like what these pills do, like what this quote food has in it, like who is lying throughout you know history, files that you can't find in the library, like online, showing you different things, basically introducing the idea of meditation and introducing the idea of self-love and self-work and shadow work. A lot of those systems were taught that selfishness is bad, and then like any form of that is bad. But see, now we're able to see past that, and then now excuse me, and then now our children being born this way, if we can program them with all that we've learned, then they're basically the components for the new earth. Is what I believe.
You know what I think though? All is one. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking because you are the proud father of a 6-month-old
Yeah.
son, right? He's 6 months.
Yes.
I think where you say we're, now we can program them kind of like with some new. I think they're gonna program us. I think your son, yeah, he gonna be showing
Yeah.
you. He gonna need
Yeah.
programming.
Yes.
You gonna
Yes.
be the one to get programmed. I think that's what these new ones coming to do.
Yeah, and I didn't really mean to say us like program. You
No,
will be this way.
that's
You
a
will
fair
meditate
term.
for 20 minutes a day.
That's a
No,
fair
no.
word. That's a fair term. I
Well,
understood.
yeah, like and then yes, I think that that's kids in general. I think that kids
Yeah.
just teach a lot of adults because you know, uh, like with a lot of adults, we tend to forget that inner child. We tend to forget our sense of imagination. We tend to forget, um, being able to go inside of ourselves and to basically find some sort of happiness within. And seeing the child kind of teaches you that, like
Yeah.
you could take a very bitter like adult, he's just bitter, and then this kid, he just he has to watch his nephew or his niece or something like that, and he just sees him run around and something just stirs within him, you know what I mean? And he's like, and then time does not exist, he just in the present moment, and it's beautiful. And yeah, children definitely teach us how to be in the present. And within this day and age, I definitely think that yeah, they'll definitely be teaching us.
Now,
Oh,
Funky Bingus says, I feel like childhood trauma and or kids that grow up in tougher situations when they're younger tend to be more intellectual growing up because they were kind of forced to mature earlier on. Now, oh, okay, Funky. Okay, you got a good point. They will tend to
it's a plus
be.
or minus to that.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. It's some pluses and some minuses because I see a whole lot of trauma mixed up in that
I've
statement
seen it all my
and
life.
long-term shadow work that they're gonna have to overcome and get through. I get that. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. I understand that. But that's the paradigm we grew up in. That's why I'm one of them. That's why we got to go back now and say, "Oh, wait a minute, let me reprogram that because
Mhm.
let me fix that." But I agree with you, Funky. I agree. Let's see. Empress Nandy says we're at the beginning stages of the soul light era, lasting 15,000 years. The galactic energy from the newbies is necessary to raise the Earth's vibration to 5D.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Yep. See, that's
absolutely.
exactly what I was saying. But there's a plus and minus to that too, because if we are so thick within that veil of programming, and then we don't let them express themselves as that, and then like try to put them in these categories and really, put them and then really box their realities in, then they'll just be a highly efficient component to the system. They won't
Yeah,
be that. So it's
that,
either that. It's almost like how Siddhartha Gautama, the first Buddha, when he was born, the like a guy's told his royal parents, the king and the queen, if he stays to his royal roots, he will be the most powerful. I mean, he will be the most powerful ruler that the world has ever known. However, if he sees either a sick man, a dead man, or an old man, then he will start to question reality, and then he
mm,
will start to renounce his royal roots, and then he will be, he will embark on the path of being the Buddha, and then
yeah.
he will endure great suffering. So he did see one of those, he did see some of those things, and yeah, that's how it happened. So yeah, it's either that or that. It's all in what we choose to program our child, and then that's the foods, that's like what they watch on TV, that's who we entertain. The energies that we entertain. The type of people that we bring into our house,
Yeah.
even the people that we as parents just communicate with, that really alter our energy in a negative way, that's still gonna, pass on to, our families. It's still gonna pass on. That energy is still there.
Absolutely. Hutch says they're accelerating our abilities for unconditionalism.
Yep.
I agree, but this is what I think is happening.
What's
I
up?
think, and I'm very mindful of it now, and I'm looking with a different eye. I just see us creating another system within a system. All of our spiritual work that we're doing increase, raise the vibration and frequency and awareness. We're inadvertently creating another system. Although that system is supposed to be for the advancement of the planet, it's still a system yet nonetheless. And I think it's going to have to come to a point where Hutch mentioned they're accelerating our abilities to get to unconditionalism. I think we're gonna have to crash one more time. We gotta go through another crash before we can get to the unconditionalism because we keep creating a different system. I'm saying that because I've just noticed in my works as a content creator. I'm thinking, okay, this is spiritual work now. This is a new energy, a new frequency, but the structure is still the same. It's hard to get guests if you don't have a lot to offer them. If I don't have a lot of followers, they don't want to come on here. Or, it's hard to, it's the same system. It's the same system of what's in it for me, or how can this elevate me? Like we gotta even in this paradigm that we call spirituality, like it's still a structure in place. I saw your wife did a video today where she was encouraging everybody who's awakened. Come on now, open your mouth. It's time to speak. It's time to talk. Nobody's
For a minute,
too
man.
small to open your mouth because we're still standing in this same thing of I can't speak because like who's gonna listen to me, or I don't have enough followers, or I don't have we still like okay, that's your philosophy, right? Like we're pulling you out into the forefront now, like to get you to realize you got a voice, you got something to say. So it's like These systems got to be crumbled all the way around, which is what 5D is ultimately going to get us to. But I still feel like we're creating another system and structure in the spiritual community that still gonna have to be like broken down before we can get to this unconditionalism that we're seeking. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so I do agree. It's because like we're still going through the veil of capitalism. I mean, capitalism and
There it
how
is.
that affects the collective psychology of the people. It basically coerces them kind of to compete rather than to cooperate.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of those tactics and a lot of those mechanics are basically being, cascaded into spirituality because it's become a trend. It's become a way of commerce now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was like I was telling, my wife. I was like, look, what you are doing, much like some of the things that I do, it is something that people can duplicate if they really wanted to. And just take somebody who's in the right frame of mind, in the right desperate situation, desperate for knowledge, desperate for help, desperate for solace, whatever it is, and seeing they're right for basically that con artist, they're right for the
Yeah.
con artist.
You know what I
Um,
think though? And I'm going to ask you in the chat. Do you all feel like if we can collapse the money system and the need for money as the foundational structure of how we really operating on this planet right now? And you can say what you want. I know when people say, "Oh, I'm high vibe. I don't, money has no meaning or money it is energy. We know it is.
it
But
is
in the
because we work
reality
with it.
of it, you're still creating opportunities to attract it. You're still trying to attract it because it is what is running this structure. So, do you guys feel? Come on, chat, tell us too, and you two all as one. Do you feel that if we can collapse the money system, where we no longer need that, we no longer utilize money, y'all think people gonna get more spiritual then, and people gonna get more, in touch and authentic with who they are and what they here to do? What y'all think?
I would say, first of all, you got to get past the greedy ass men. I mean, that basically run, that run that whole thing. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But past that, yes, definitely. But then, I would say that money's not really the root of all evil. It's just
Right.
the product of the root of all evil. To me, the root of all evil is excess. And I mean excess,
Mm-hmm.
just you needing too much or just wanting too much, thinking that you need too much.
That's right.
I think that that's it. And until we kind of quell, and then shadow work is definitely needed for that.
Yeah.
Because it gives people a lot of time to really sit back and really look upon themselves and analyze, like, why am I in this constant state of lack? Why am I in this profound state of lack that I feel like that I need more and more and more? Because the excess turns to greed, and and that greed, you'll fuck over like anybody to get what you want. So,
Yeah.
um,
For sure.
because evil has happened before money was even a thing. I mean, evil was already here. That's why
Yeah.
I always tell people, but I'm not sure, because a lot of people, it's like I said, they've been indoctrinated into a lot of hard systems of belief, and these systems of belief are often accompanied by a language, you know what I mean, a culture, tradition, stuff like that, and things that are very powerful in their like influence over people's lives and their perceptions and how they perceive reality. It's very powerful, and it could be very hard. It's almost like I basically equivalated to having a psychedelic trip. Not everybody is ready for that. Not everybody is ready to really see themselves. They would rather just keep going on the delusional road and just telling themselves that it's real.
Yeah.
So and if we were to do that, it would definitely be an ego death for those like involved. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these events are going to
On it
unfold
though.
with this new work coming. And I'm very, very excited about it.
I agree with you. I'm watching it go down and I'm just looking and I'm going, all these systems, like I see the healthcare system breaking down. Like I didn't even know. Now, y'all, it's a lady who's
That's a
going
big one.
around saying she ain't been to the dentist in 30 years and her teeth are perfect and you don't have to go to the dentist. It's all about keeping the bacteria, out. And she's showing like natural ways to do, like, our medical system is gonna collapse, baby, because all the people are starting to go natural and say, what
Natural and
y'all
do for
doing?
themselves and do for
Yeah,
themselves. Do for
yeah.
themselves. Yeah. And to really, and then, that's what I always said is that, there is, if we were truly a civilization, we would literally make human anatomy mandatory to pass every single grade in
Mm,
education. You
mm.
need to have, because, and just to have a basic understanding of your body. You ain't even got to know all the little components and all the microorganisms and platelets, all that type of stuff. Just say, this flows this way. Solids, it takes a long time to pass. I mean, see, kids, now what are we not going to have past 7 o'clock? Food. And then saying, why is that? Because we don't want to wake up with a tummy ache. Bam, and do that every single time. You fail like anatomy class, you got to take that grade over, bro. Man, everybody going to take their body and health and just inner working seriously. And then it's going to change the psychology. Because, the gut, a lot of people's guts, our guts are effed up, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so that has a direct marriage to the brain. What is it, like more than 90% of your serotonin is basically produced in your gut? So
yep.
it's like, if that's messed up, then,
Now
you know
see,
what I mean? So it's definitely going to be a psychology change too.
I should have learned that when I was young. It took me 52 years to realize not to eat after 7. I'm doing that 16-8. Y'all know 16 hours off, 8 hours on, that fast. They call it
Yeah.
intermittent fasting. But I
Yeah.
have to. I gotta stop at 7 because it takes my body all that time to get this stuff digested, get it together, get my insulin levels back to get, like, it takes that. But it took me 52 years to realize that concept that you just said could have been taught to me in first
Programming.
grade.
Programming for all of us, man. It took us a while, man. Even like when I was healthy, oh man, when I first really started to really get into fitness, man, I would quit all the soda and shit, right? But I was still drinking diet soda. Just because it didn't have no sugar in it. Nobody told me, watch out for aspartame, acysulfame, none of that stuff. It's a lot, man. And you really do learn as you go, and there's a lot of knowledge that's kept from us because they don't really want a nation full of self-sufficient spiritual people. They can't really be controlled and make certain people more powerful and more comfortable. They
Yeah.
can't really be used like that because we're big, because all of us are not big consumers. So if we're not consuming like that, then guess what? They shit gonna fall down soon. Or just like they just have to invest, their profits, all their profits that they, into something else.
Yeah.
Into something else
Absolutely.
that we would need. And then you better do it right too, because we looking on the back of the damn ingredients. You better do it right. We gonna know what it's made of. We gonna know what it do to the environment. We gonna know what it do to our house. We gonna know what it do to our bodies. We gonna know all that. You better make it right. So you know what I mean? So but yeah.
Absolutely. Chosen 144 says, I'm in the dry, hot Midwest where in my line of work, I have seen a significant increase in the population creating raised garden beds of fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs. A lot more people got gardens going now. Every human being has the capacity to heal self. It starts in the mind. Mind is the builder. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
a saying that goes, the mind is a good slave, but a terrible master. It's a good slave, but a terrible master. Meaning that you ain't got nothing control of that, man. Yeah.
You know what I love that you told me? Because let me tell you guys in the chat, you look at this man, you say, "Ooh, he fit. Ooh, he's of the earth. Ooh, everything about him
Watch
says
my girl is
natural.
stupid.
Which everything about him reeks natural, unlike me, right, y'all, with my wig on. But that's all right, y'all. I'm still natural with the wig. We gonna be natural because it's natural
Man,
underneath.
hey, like, you got something going on for you that I ain't got going on for me. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody, it's all in what you prefer. Do
That's
you,
right.
you know what I mean?
That's what I was about to say. I was gonna say you told me that, because my assumption, you guys assume when you're in the spiritual community, everybody's vegan and everybody doesn't do this and doesn't do that. And you know what he told me? He said, I'm gonna tell you this: it's many variables to what you should and shouldn't eat. It's many variables. There's no one approach, no one
So
way.
many,
You can't
so
say, oh,
many.
because you're spiritual, you don't eat meat, you don't eat this, you don't eat. Y'all get out of that. Get into what is specific to you and
Yeah,
your body. We
yeah.
just found out on a couple of shows back how your blood type plays a huge part in terms of your diet. Like what diet coordinates with your body based on your blood
Yep,
type and your DNA.
yep.
And so,
Bean, gut,
yeah,
microbiome, and it's so much, man, because a lot, there's not a whole lot of like indigenous peoples on the planet right now, and usually the indigenous peoples, their bodies are more adequately adapted to the environment, and so you could kind of like predict a lot of different ailments and things like that with them. With us, we're so mixed up that, like, yeah, you really do have to listen to your own body a lot of the times. You know what I mean? Everybody's gut microbiome is different. I know that certain like ethnic persuasions can process red meat better than other ones can. Um, like the Inuits can, like, survive on a whale fat diet. I could not.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The Hasda tribe can, their little children can stick their hands in beehives and pull out honeycombs to eat. Um, and they're basically immune to bee stings. The bees are
Mm.
stinging them and they're not crying, nothing. They're just eating honeycomb like nothing. And so it's different adaptations basis on geographical expressions and
Now,
stuff like that. So it's hard to really say, man. You just gotta listen to your body up and
let me enlighten y'all on something I found out. Like I used to put honey in my tea, y'all. I don't do that no more. Did y'all know honey was vomit? Like it's similar to what a bee vomits so that they can feed their babies. They like
yeah,
vomit and stuff, and it's honey. That's what honey is. I didn't know that. I said, what in the world?
yeah,
Now
yeah.
see y'all. Look, I ain't ashamed to say I got that off TikTok. See, let me tell y'all, I learned some stuff on TikTok. Y'all better understand. I'm not ashamed to say. But oh look, everybody, look, people in the chat knew that. I guess I'm the only one that didn't know that. Okay, y'all.
Hey,
Okay, all right.
hey, hey, like, and it's just all in what it's all in what you prefer. I just try just to get as much vitamins, as much of the good, my essential vitamins, minerals, macros, and micros, and I just stick to that. I'm not one of them folk that, we don't really get every single exotic fruit known to man and make, it's just like, no, stick with what uh kale and a few others and just keep it simple, because stuff is high, and then we ain't at growing our own stuff quite yet. So
But
yeah.
y'all, but
So,
I feel like you will as your son gets older. I feel like y'all gonna be like, nah, we don't trust none of this stuff, this food. We gonna grow our own stuff. We
oh
gonna
yeah, oh yeah,
we
we
gonna
already
start
know.
him off, you know, like where we wish we would have started.
Yeah, and that was my whole, was our whole reason, and then for even having him in the first place was because we were like, no, like I feel like a lot of us got dumbed down growing up, that we could have been so much more, and I feel like that we got dumbed down because of all of the media programming, worshiping false idols, celebrities. Like in school, I was in elementary a lot, and all, you know, I like Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that type of stuff, and just playing outside. These kids, you know, already 8, 9 years old, talking about Britney Spears and celebrities and stuff, and see, and I'm like, man, I don't watch none of that. And then, you know, so it's that, and just the food that we were fed, it affected our minds, and just how we thought about things. You know, the video games, I mean, literally almost everything. And
Yeah.
so, like, I feel like, well, you know, what were we beyond that? What were
Yeah.
we, if like not for that influence and that veil of programming, you know, what were we beyond that? You know, so what were we outside of that? And so,
Yeah.
us having Maverick was basically, you know, a was basically a response to that. He's already 7 months, he's already like basically walking. You know, he almost talks basically. He's very, very aware, very conscious. um you know, he's one of those kids that's doing a little bit much. So we had that, and I told her one time, I said, you know, having a kid is one of the is I think the most powerful choice that a human being could make, because you're literally talking about bringing in an organism that has that can drastically alter its environment to just unimaginable magnitudes. So we wanted to take serious of that to create, you know, to ensure that we're producing a, you know, producing a being that's a contribution, that's a, you know, benevolent contribution to the new earth, and that knows his place with everything, understands, and is conscious about how he is connected to everything, that there is no separation, and that all separation is purely and always will be, in my opinion, superficial. um and we didn't want to create a parasite. We didn't want to create what we were set to be, what we all were programmed to be, which is parasites feeding and a cog in their little game. You know what I mean?
When
So
when I was talking to you prior to this,
yep.
and I kind of interrupted like what we were talking about. I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "I hope you don't mind, but I'm getting some information from Spirit about you and a car accident you were in." I said, "Were you in an accident?" And I said, "I'm seeing the number 7. Were you young?" You said, "I was in an accident, but I was 17." And I said, you said around 17. And I said, "Well, I'm getting this whole message that that is when your life changed, but you aren't aware of it. But I'm bringing it to the forefront now for you to understand the parallel to what was happening to you in an alternate parallel timeline." And so we talked a little bit about that, like how your life here is not indicative of what happened to you at that moment on another timeline. So I'm gonna talk briefly about that because you're very interesting in that a lot of people, we experience things simultaneously across timelines, and some
Hmm.
of us are aware of it, some of us are not. And so in that moment when I was talking to you, there's a spirit guy saying make him aware of that, because his experience in that moment is what kind of catapulted him to get to where he is in this moment. And so you kind of remembered it. You remembered the details like leading up to, we don't need to talk about that. But your spirit guides were saying after that is when, like, I don't know, maybe you started to see the world, you started to experience the world a little differently. And you weren't
Yeah.
even aware of it, I don't think.
Um, yeah, I wasn't really aware of it until maybe 2 years after that, when I was in junior college. You know, I was kind of at a defeated time in my life. Excuse me. And You know, I was at a junior college. I got tired of counselors messing me up, and I stopped going to class. I had AIDS, so it didn't matter.
Mm,
I stopped going to class. I started to smoke. smoke a lot more. I started to smoke herb a lot more. And I noticed when I started to really pick up, when I really bumped up to more higher grade stuff, more higher grade herb, I noticed that I would have a lot more profound thoughts and a lot more revelations, satori's, sudden like awakenings, things like that. And it got to a point to where that I got tired of smoking with people.
Now,
And but
let me ask you something. Was your artistic abilities developed then, or did they come after that? Or have you always been artistic? Artistic, you guys. I'm not saying autistic. I'm saying
I
artistic,
know,
like you
like
can
everybody
draw and
says
stuff.
that. Everybody, man, you artistic.
Yeah,
And,
artistic, not
they
autistic.
so you say the hard R,
Or
artistic.
I want to make sure that people know.
No, it don't matter, man. It's just a label. Like, even if I was, I wouldn't give a shit. Uh, but I was always that way. At
Okay.
4 years old, I always used to look at things that that interested me, and I wanted to emulate that on paper. I wanted to have it, like, I want to look at this always, when I saw it on TV, let me draw it and stuff like that. And I kind of gave into obsession over visual art, drawing. I got into painting and color a little bit. And yeah, I mean, I've always been there. But yeah, I would say that it kind of changed my style up a little bit. I started to draw a lot more like comics of myself in cartoon form, just doing random things, and it'd be like a message or something
There you
on it,
go.
like like rise up, and I'm rising out of a city like this, and just different
That's
things.
what I
And
felt. Yeah.
yeah, and I got to wanting to make my own comic series, or my own manga, because of it. I got into, because I used to draw like in high in senior year. I started drawing like just random little panel stories, like 1, 2, 3 pages or something like that. And somebody saw them, they were like, "Dude, like your facial expressions are just so like up, like just alive." And I've never been the best with compliments, but it definitely spurred me into, okay, maybe I can do a little something with this. And I would say, like, it evolved. I definitely started to draw a lot more because I enjoyed the heightened state that
See,
I was in too.
and that's what I feel like. I feel like you were starting to get downloads in a way that you could not understand, but in a way you could
Yeah.
interpret them, and it was via the drawings. And so it felt like Spirit was saying he didn't even realize back then what we were doing, but we was doing it. We was like activating and
Mhm.
connecting with him in that moment after the accident, and we just wanted to bring to his awareness. That's how we started developing it through something that he felt comfortable with and that he was connected to.
Oh yeah,
um
definitely so. Definitely.
Natasha says like a parallel life and NDE. Well, he didn't die. He didn't have an actual NDE. That accident wasn't. He actually walked away kind of unharmed, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everybody was telling me to go to the hospital, because literally the steering wheel, I mean they hit me broadside, like literally T-bone me at like 45.
Yeah.
And like driver side was like literally smashed in. The steering wheel was in the middle of the car. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
smashed in it was. Yeah, fireman doctors telling me, "Oh, sir, see, you should really go to hospital, because there's so much adrenaline pumping through your body right now, and you'll feel it later." I'm like, dude, I'm good. And I literally just, my mom came and got me and everything. And like, I got home and I walked for like 2 hours, 3 hours maybe, and I just walked,
So
and
let
that
me
was it.
clarify for Natasha, because that was a good question, and I'm glad you said that to clarify. Natasha, in his parallel reality, when I was telling him about this and kind of what the spirit guys were explaining to me, they said in this reality he got up and walked away unscathed, unharmed. But in that parallel reality, he wasn't so lucky. It wasn't he
No,
didn't come. It didn't end that way, so to speak. So it's kind of like, how do I say this? You know how when we have parallel realities, and let's just say you die, people always say, "Well, what if I do I go to another reality when I die, or do I know? Well, we know that you never die. There's no such thing. That energy
There
just
is no
moves,
death.
it just
Yeah.
shifts. And so in his instance, that energy shifted to this reality, to where he was now. He literally, let's just say in the other reality, let's just say he didn't wake up. Let's just say that. But
Yeah,
he
yeah, I was
didn't
gone.
hear. What'd
Yeah,
you say?
like this, I was gone.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And it's almost as if he merged in this reality. And so in that convergence came this awareness and this new a kind of being that that included these downloads and this new kind of initiation into the next steps of his journey, if that makes sense to you. Okay. um
Definitely, definitely, I do
and they
agree.
were, and so this happened many years ago, but in this moment when he and I were talking, it was just like these spirit guys were like, "Oh," it's almost like, now since we got his attention, tell him this real quick, like let him know this, because we've been trying to tell him, but we want to make sure he understand like what happened. So when I asked him, I was so apologetic because I'm thinking this man didn't come to me for no reading and no session, so he might not want to hear all this about no accident, but he was open to receiving it, and his spirit guides knew he
Anything,
would be. Um,
anything.
okay, good. Natasha says, okay, that's what I was seeing. Perfect, perfect. Um,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Empress Nandy. This is a little bit back. You said the food in the toxicity in the food environment and water lowers our vibration and hardens the pineal
yeah,
gland connected
yes.
to the third eye behind the veil. Thank you so much for reminding us of that, Empress Nandy, baby. Empress Nandy gonna make sure we get the factual information together on this in this chat. We love when Empress
Yeah.
Nandy come on and make sure we get all our details together.
Mhm.
Korean. Oh, she says, I didn't. She says, this is a good live. I'm glad he came on and talked, even with his slight stuttering. She say a slight stutter. She says she happy.
Slack,
Um, he said a
slack.
slight. He ain't even stuttering, Korean. You talking about a slight. Baby, don't
Just
say
a tad.
slight. He's pausing for thoughts to get his thoughts together.
Yeah, yeah, that too. But back in the day, yeah, it was pausing to get a word out. But yeah,
I'm
but
proud of you. You are doing awesome. She says, I'm
thank you.
happy y'all touched on capitalism because that's something I've been thinking and talking about frequently. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hutch says this, it was almost like a walk-in. Almost, if he had a lost a little consciousness a little bit or kind of been, I want to say,
Pronounced dead,
removed.
but not
Yeah,
maybe.
dead but not dead. Yeah, it would have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
more
So
of
that
a,
was my wife. Like, see, that's her. Like, that's her that had the walking. I might have had it at some point that I don't really remember.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I definitely think that a lot of this stuff, it definitely tells into a lot of man, it's just a lot, man. Like there's so much. It definitely tailors into my present situation right now.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like my life is like a movie. Definitely, I
It
definitely feel
is.
like I'm definitely being led. I'm definitely being led. It's not I'm just walking through life. It's like no, you're being led through life. Something
You
is leading
are.
you. And
And
the good, the bad, the ugly it just wants me to see it all. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, and to come up with the best conclusion.
I actually want to, you guys, I'm talking about his artwork because I got some samples of it. I want y'all to look at it because he said he was good before the accident, but it just got maybe a little more enhanced. But look, you can't tell nobody what's coming for them. They got to walk it. But I'm going to tell y'all what I'm thinking coming for him down the road. His artwork is so divinely connected, and so intuitively put together. I just think he's going to be doing more than just drawing. Not that what he's not doing now is insignificant, but I just think it's the beginning of what this artwork is going to be used for.
Oh,
Let me show
oh
y'all
yeah,
some of this stuff.
oh
Let me
yeah,
show
yeah,
y'all
the
what we got.
100, oh yeah, 100, 100.
This is his wife. Y'all know what I feel you I am you look like. He likes anime, and this is a perfect representation of her.
And
Looks
she
like her.
does too. She's an
What you
anime
say?
head too.
Both of you, both of you.
Both of us are
Um,
anime heads.
Let me show you the
Shoot.
next one.
That's one of the reasons why. We together. Yeah, so I drew that when I was like 19, 18.
Beautiful. That looks like
A
her
lot of
too.
people have done.
That is a beautiful picture of her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And then you guys look at this one. I love that.
I've learned a lot even since then. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a good series. I had a lot of fun with that one. I had a lot of fun with that one.
do you sell this work at all?
I do.
You do.
I do. Yes, I do. I'm open to missions requests. Um, right now I'm working on a like a kids book. So I'll probably be busy with that within the next like 2 to 3 months. But past that, I should be good.
Yeah, you guys, I just feel like in the years to come, he's going to be getting visions and sightings of stuff that's coming and that's going to happen, and he's going to be drawing it. He's going to be drawing it before it come here. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Man, I already kind of did a little bit.
See?
That's the
See?
scary part. Um, that's the scary part and the good part. Some good and some there's some good parts and some frightening parts to it. But yeah, I mean, definitely. And that's really the main focal point of my art right now. Meaning that what I'm working on, like by default, meaning I have no commission, no nothing, is my manga. Without saying too much about it, because I haven't really gotten the copyright and patents and all that together yet. It's basically a dark fantasy about everything that we go through now. It's literally like if the world was a movie. You know what I mean? It's almost like that. And I take a lot of different elements in this 3D human experience, and then even the 4 and the 5D, and I twist it into fantasy. Of course, like 4 and 5D is more so fantasy, but more so a lot of the elements and things like that of what we're going through now, all of the like things that we've just previously talked about. I twist that into a fantasy. And
Mm.
I actually give, people with spiritual prowess, there's, they have they have some little supernatural powers, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And it's measured in the utilization of, the like percentage of the brain, which I call the threshold. So, but it's a very, it's what, I told my wife about it, and she was just obsessed,
Yeah.
because it has all of what we're talking about now, and it also has the opposing energies in it as well, and I kind of paint them in a certain light. So that's really what I try to dedicate a lot of my creative energy, most of my creative energy, to.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
have no
very
doubt.
excited.
We got a lot coming down the pipeline, I think, from you. You guys, he is just now coming into social or onto social media. Like, I feel you, I am you. She had to create him an Instagram account real quick. He got a TikTok. Like, he's just not, he wasn't on it. But look, she can ready to bring him on through and bring him out. They
Mhm.
actually are talking about creating a series that they're going to do together, which I can't wait. I think it's going to be a wonderful collaboration between the two of them. And you guys, this is the epitome of reconnecting with a soul tie or soul mate that you had an agreement with before you came here. When I met them, I said, oh my God, you can tell you guys had an agreement that you guys were going to link up once you got here, because the chemistry and the energy between the two of them is magnetic. You know that they already, like, they got a contractual agreement to link up here, because it's just, you can't help but see it and feel it and know it. I didn't ask you guys how you actually met, but I
Oh,
can only imagine when you saw each other, you had to kind of tell yourself, like, that's gonna be my wife, or I think I'm gonna be with her.
Yeah, it was like it was very very familiar energy as soon as I saw her, and then even and even when I I just knew her from YouTube and I just knew her from Facebook. It was always this familiarity, you know. Her and I have such similar circumstances. Like we were both really hyper kids growing up. School, we had issues with it. Just so many things. And then I don't really let I'm very very protective with my energy space, and I mean especially these days. Most of the time, I really do prefer to be alone. The only people I really can be around 100% is my wife and son. That's it. You know, because they're just like me. There is no like conflict of anything or nothing like that, or conflicting energies or anything like that. It's just
It just
like
is.
me walked into the room. It just is, man.
It just
It just
is.
is.
I
And
love
it
that because they're so free.
yeah, like we really just I don't know, man. We just kids, man. We just like kids, and we say we even told each other if we couldn't have him, it's like, hey, I'm just, hey, baby, kids forever. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I
And
love
so,
it.
yeah, I mean, and then that's the whole thing. We think that you're always a kid. You know what I mean? It's just that when you'll be a big enough kid, now you a kid with responsibilities, with obligations. You know what I'm saying? But you had obligations when you was a kid. So, you know what I mean? It's still just kind of the same thing. It's just a lot of the times, we go through stuff when we're younger and stuff like that, and a lot of our imagination kind of gets flattened a little bit. So
Yeah. Well, you guys keep your energy because we all serve a purpose on this planet in the
mhm.
evolution, and you guys are holding the light and anchoring it. It just by being you, just by literally being you and doing what you're doing. And so I know that this is only your light is only going to shine brighter as you guys continue to evolve and as you raise the young one that's coming up. We really gonna see some things. Let's see. Natasha says soul resonance. Corinne says she's excited for your series. See, I done spoke that series. They gonna have to do it now because I keep saying
Oh
it
yeah,
and bringing it
man.
up.
See, it's on now. It's on now.
It's got to come.
Yeah, man. You gotta come now.
Empress Nandy says I'm a little behind in the stream where you're talking about his artwork. I'm sensing that his artwork will be kind of like a reading for people, where there'll be deep messages and symbology
Yeah,
within. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. That's what I'm
Everything,
talking about.
everything,
Yep.
everything. It is very mature. It is not. I would not really call this a kids manga. It's definitely MA. Violence, drugs, a bunch of stuff. Because I find that a lot of those films and a lot of those books tend to have more of a resonance with people.
Yep.
Because you're really shown the harsh, brutal truth, and it kind of it is a catalyst for a change in my like opinion.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of that in there. The
Absolutely.
hero is definitely not your typical goody goody two shoes, knows like what's wrong and what's right just off the bat. None of that. He has to grow within the series, and even I even say, and my wife actually picked it up. She said, "I think that your main hero and your main villain are like two sides of or two sides to your coin. I think that one of them shows the wrathful side of you. The other one shows like the more, when you were more lost and you were more, you were more confused and more on the wayward, path. The good and the bad. You know
Yeah.
how um, it's kind of the fall from grace, like how the hero starts out as bad and then he turns, learns to be better, and then the villain starts out graceful and just falls from grace. So it's
Mhm.
like, I can't wait to really get started on it. My wife loves
Corinne
it.
Corinne says, does he have an art page or website? Girl, we just not getting him on social media. You know he ain't
Yeah,
got no.
man. Yeah,
We just not getting him to step into the lights, into the limelight. So it's coming. He's developing these things slowly
yeah,
but
yeah.
surely.
It's coming. Like, because and I'm always such a perfectionist. A lot of the reason why it hasn't really made it yet is because I'm always a perfectionist, and every single time that I see something like mine, it's like, damn, back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Because I always wanted to be so original, this original. And then my tattoo artist told me one time, he was like, dude, like, especially in this day and age, there is nothing that's really original. Everything has been done in some way, shape, or fashion. You just have to make sure that your stuff is not too chronologically similar to it,
Yeah.
with the character archetypes and stuff like that being too similar. Just so I've
Absolutely.
kind of worked on just as learning as I go rather than having everything perfect in order to start. So
Yeah. And for those of you who will want to connect with him, I'm going to pin in the comments. If you watch the replay, or if you want to come back, I'm going to pin his handles, his TikTok handle, his Instagram handle. I'm going to put it all in the comments. Y'all go over and follow him now. So especially on Instagram, give him some followers now. I think he got 1 or 2. We
I
gonna we gonna
think,
all follow him over on Instagram. And he
oh,
got it going on TikTok though. He got some over there,
yeah,
but we
yeah,
gonna
I
make
got
sure
like
you follow
20.
him.
Yeah.
You got 20. Okay, all right. I gotta get over there. You're gonna have 21. You go, I'm getting
This
over
guy,
there.
man.
But BD says alone is good energy wise, but how to move and connect in this reality is the thing I'm trying to figure out. Oh,
Man, see, that's all of us. I think that's all of us
yeah.
because you're talking to beings that they're in a whole nother paradigm of like reality than most of us. You know what I mean? What we hold as truth is crazy to them, blasphemous, whatever the case might be. It's just something that does not resonate or connect with them at all. So, and how very unfortunate that it is that most of these people run a lot of the monetary systems. Most of those people that think like that run the monetary systems. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I do agree. It's very difficult, but it's one of the things I think that it's our Cleveland said in Family Guy. It's like, so you don't win, you just do better each time. I think it's like that. You know what I mean? And you
That's
just
right.
learn. And I will never tell my son like, hey, daddy knows everything. It's no. It's like I'm still learning just like you. I'm a student just like you. You
That's
know what
what
I
I
mean?
always say. All we can do is share our experiences and, assist each other as we go through this. There is no cookbook way or no right way or no doctrine to
No,
do this thing.
you
It's
can't.
it's yeah, absolutely.
Can't. That's
Okay.
what,
All is one. Look, it's been about an hour and 15
mhm.
minutes, y'all. He
Yeah,
gonna wear
man.
it down. We've been going at it like hard, for an hour and 15 minutes, and this has been so wonderful. Somebody in the comments mentioned they're so excited to have. I think in the 2 years I've been doing this, you are the third male guest I've had, maybe third or fourth, and because not that it's not a lot of men in the spiritual community. I'm just saying the representation of like getting them to come on and to do this. It's a little too difficult, a little bit sometimes. But I always say if I can't get them or I can't, it's not meant for them to be on this platform.
Yeah,
So
it's not.
you were meant to be here tonight, for
Oh, well,
sure.
thank you. Thank
So,
you. I mean, it's my honor.
oh,
It
well,
truly is.
thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. You guys, please make sure you like this video because this man has given us some gems tonight. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you subscribe it. All is one. We're going to send you much love. And Empress Nandy says your work will be unique because it is divinely guided. Yes, it is. And Hutch says it's different being on the camera, but now you got a feel for it. So look, this is your debut. I'm happy to say I was part of your debut, because we're gonna see a lot more of you. And so we just want to thank you. I'm gonna let you go because y'all, he got a 6-month-old baby, and we know who his wife is. We're gonna let him get to his wife and thank you and thank her for me for kind of helping me put this together, if you
Oh
will.
yeah, yeah. See, thank you for having me and for setting everything up. I mean, like you're awesome. You truly are.
Oh,
I know that this is really gonna go places. This is really gonna go places for you, and I wish you all the fortune and energy. Like we need stuff like this. You know what I mean? For anybody, not just people. Like you said, with 10,000 followers and stuff like that. It's
yeah,
about everybody has a truth. You know what I mean?
that's
And
right.
everybody, it's their soul right to me to be able to voice that truth,
Yeah,
because we've been held back from it for so long. So hey,
absolutely.
I'm just very very, I sit in 100% gratitude because of this opportunity. Thank you, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to many
Well,
more, man.
well, you are so welcome. I'm going to let you go because I got some closing things I want to say to the people in the
Yes.
audience. Again, you always welcome back here, but I just want you to know we're going to go follow you. Once I put all your information down there, we're going to follow you. Okay. So you better start posting some content.
All right, then I'll try, man. Just I got dogs too. I got man. See, I'm a busy dude, man. But I will definitely try and give it back to those that I can, because I genuinely do like helping people. I genuinely do.
And just
Uh,
look, just post some pictures of your artwork. Just put that on there. Tell your wife to show you how to put some artwork on there. We'll click the like button for that. You ain't got to do much.
all right, then. All right. I mean, I'll start. I'll start. It's definitely giving me a bit of a spur. So I mean,
Good.
so because it's like I said, I'm getting better at this without even really practicing like that. It's time. So
It
um
is.
yeah, I'm gonna try and get on it.
Okay.
That's
Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna click you off. All right.
all right then. I
Okay.
mean, so y'all have an awesome night. Thank you so much.
See ya. He was awesome. Oh, we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. Okay. You guys, I done kept y'all longer than normal. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't cut him off. I didn't mean to. You guys, I want to give you a couple more announcements. So I'm going to be off next Monday because I'm going to be traveling on July 1st. So we won't have Mystical Monday. But guess what? We coming back on July 8th. And guess what's going to happen on July 8th? I got a young lady coming on here. Baby, we talked today. She is the greatest Oracle/tarot card reader there is. Baby, y'all gonna want to meet her. I have not had not one Oracle or tarot card reader on this platform in 2 years. I got one now because I gotta vet them. Y'all know I gotta vet them and see who I think y'all will resonate with, who is authentic, who gonna be good for the platform. I got one for y'all, July 8th. She coming, and I want y'all to be here because it's gonna be a little different. We're gonna do a little different on that night. She gonna do a special reading for the people in the chat, specifically for us here on Mystical Monday. She's gonna give us our own little reading, and we're gonna talk to her and we're gonna ask her some questions. We're gonna talk and we're gonna get into it because she has a lot more to share than just talking about Oracle and tarot cards. Y'all gonna see, wait till you meet her. So we got that on July 8th. So make sure you come back on the 8th. Remember, I'm not going to be here on Monday, so we won't have it next Monday. I'm not even going to be here this Thursday, so we can't do shadow work this Thursday. Y'all, I got a lot going on. As the kids say, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be outside this Thursday and next Monday. So won't be joining you guys again until next Thursday for a shadow work session next Thursday, okay? So y'all remember that. Don't be DMing me and emailing me saying, what happened? Where are you? I'm not going to be here this Thursday or next Monday. I will return next Thursday. Oh, no, wait. The Thursday is the 4th of July. No, I won't. Wait a minute, y'all. I just thought about that. No, won't be here on the 4th. So we will resume on the 8th. We will be back here for Mystical Monday on the 8th and shadow work that same week. Sorry about that, you guys. I had to get my dates together. It's a lot going on. I got to keep it straight. So everybody take a break and then we'll reconvene and make sure y'all come back, okay? Because this next guest on July 8th, I think y'all gonna really love her. I think you're gonna like her. Everybody make sure you like and share this video and turn the notifications on. That's right, Chosen 144. Tell them, Chosen, turn the notifications on. All right. All right, I am going to get out of here. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for the chat. Remember what I told y'all. I opened up 2 days on my calendar. July 10th and July 25th, I opened it up for those who want one-on-one spiritual coaching sessions. I had something previously planned on those days, but it fell through, so I opened it up for some sessions because y'all been emailing me. If you can't get in on those 2 days, I have no availability until September. How about that? So remember that, okay, you guys? Okay, so I will see you next time. Thank you so much for coming. And until next time, y'all keep on evolving and illuminating your light. Ta-ta.